This is Justin AMZN on Tuesday, March 30th, 2021. Taking a look at yesterday, we had the double top here, and then we continued on lower. So we played this out down right into this level here, came back up, came back into like a neckline retest here, did another one over here, rolled over again, rolled over again. We actually did a really good job of pretty much putting in relative highs through the day. And then once we put in this low, we were making higher lows, slightly, not quite here into the close, but still you can see there's kind of this idea that these are getting higher here. All the while the calls are getting lower. The puts are getting lower. This is just, I think, an example of the premium getting sucked out even faster than normal just because it's a short week. So it's kind of like a Wednesday before expiration rather than a Tuesday. But anyway, there were a couple different places that looked pretty good to be getting in. Obviously going bearish right out the gate because it was gapping down below a bullish candle. It had already started moving down from here. This was a great next target. Getting in out the gate would have been a little bit hard with the 3,000 put, just because this had a wider range to be buying here. So a little bit more than a $100 R. So probably go out maybe to the 29.50, 29.75, something like that strike instead, and letting that go for 3 hours. And it should have worked, whichever one you picked, as long as you weren't too far to the money. Like 2,900 may not have been able to move 3 hours. So once it had, once you had this trade going bearish, you could have done it again here and again here. Similar price on this one to here, and then this was a much lower price. But they all still would have worked to go 3 hours. Once you get in this one, probably would have gotten in like getting in at 7 and getting out at 10, or maybe 650 if you were really looking right to that low. That would have been hard to do. So probably 7 by 6 and a target of 10, and maybe even getting out a little bit before the end of the day there. And then this was a really good place to go bullish. We had a really nice hammer candle here. Did a little bit of a double bottom here. When you look at the option, this was a little bit of a double bottom. And if you had been setting up an order to get in based on this candle and what price this candle put in over here, you could have had the same entry on this candle, on this bearish candle, and that would have been this one. Nope, that would have been this one. So could have the same option price to get in at about 9. Actually, that may not be right. Let me zoom in on this. Nope, getting in at 950 and get out at 1250. Oh, it would have been the exact high. So that would have been 3 hours. I don't know if that would have worked. Probably get in even at 10 and got out at 13, but that would have been holding through this. And instead of doing all that, you could have just waited to get in over here at 10. So that would have been waiting for all of this sideways, even though it's below the 21, and looks, I mean, this to me looks like this should, this should have retested, rolled over. Instead it puts in a really long stair step. Stair step is usually anywhere from like 2 or 3 to 8 candles. This goes a little bit further and then does not continue lower, actually goes bullish. So yeah, this one to me looked like it should have broken down just being below the 21, but it kind of played out with a double bottom here, or a double bottom here. It just depends on how you draw that. Matching it up here, I think this would have been the first bottom, this would have been the second of the double bottom, and then breakout, kind of retest, and then goes. That was about it for the bullish move off of this line. Once you drew in kind of some of these higher lows, maybe you could have been buying over here. This was another really nice hammer, and it got into the 21, and then that broke out. So that would have been much later in the day, a little bit lower price. That would have been buying around 7. Let's see. The low was 730. No, buying around, oh, that's what threw me off, sorry. Buying around 8 and getting at 11. So getting in at 8, this price when it goes sideways here, just because it would have been it would have had just these higher lows go like that, something like that. If I could draw it, there you go, like that. And looking to play off of this here, or getting in bullish here and a stop down here, that would have been buying around 8, maybe 850 by 750, something like that, for $100 risk. And then getting out at, that would have been 1150, so that would have been up over here. So I think that could have worked as well. So a couple opportunities to go bullish or bearish. We did end up having an inside candle. This candle kind of reminds me of this one here. This one ended up going bullish, had a little bit of a lower low. We didn't have that today. So we're in the same price range as these two, but this is obviously inside candle, bearish candle, looks a little different. This is looking a bit like a rest after battle, just the bookend candles are not very large. This candle is a really strong hammer, where we had both of these being hammers here. So I think we're obviously taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture on, even though we're on the 5-minute, you can see that we do have lower highs, we do have higher lows. It's looking like a bigger triangle than kind of this one that I was thinking yesterday. And so we'll see if we go sideways a little bit more for a couple hours in the morning, and then ultimately break down or break out. But we should be nearing a breakout at least here, and then run up to this level or run back down, possibly to here, or at least into the lows again. Actually, it's not too far into the 3,000 low, so I think that'd be an easy place to get down to. It's just a little bit below here. Well, maybe down here. So anyway, that's what I'm seeing. Hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.